Lots of people ask me to talk about leadership. What is leadership? What does real leadership mean? What's the difference between fake leadership and real leadership? What are the characteristics of a good leader, and so on? It's an abstract concept, but let me try and explain with an example. So, who do we consider to be India's greatest leader of the past 100 years? If you ask the Indian government, if you ask the Indian government, they will say that the greatest Indian leader of the past 100 years is this gentleman here, Mr. Mohandas K. Gandhi. And if you ask your school teacher, your history teacher, if you read your history textbooks, or if you watch the Indian media, news channels, etc., they all extol Mr. Gandhi's virtues to the high heavens. So, according to the general consensus, the greatest leader India has seen in the past 100 or 150 years is Mr. Mohandas K. Gandhi. So let's take this as an example and let's discuss what leadership actually is. What is leadership? What are the hallmarks of a good leader? And to further investigate this, let's ask this question. Mr. Gandhi, whom did he represent as a leader? Whose interests did Mr. Gandhi serve and promote, protect and promote? And whom did Mr. Gandhi serve? So if you ask these questions, it becomes a little more clear. You It becomes clear that the essence of leadership is service. True leadership is service. But not all servants are leaders. Okay. So the essence of leadership is service. And secondly, a leader serves a finite constituency. A leader cannot serve the whole world. A leader can only serve a finite number of people, right? Not the whole world. So let us understand this further. So I'm sure you all recognize these words. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamiham, and so on and so forth. So what are these words? These words represent a leader's promise to his constituency. These words represent Lord Krishna's promise to the people of Bharat and the people who follow Dharma. He said that whenever there is a threat to Dharma and to the people of Bharat, then he will return and destroy Dharma, destroy Adharma. That's what he says. So he makes this promise not to the entire world. He makes this promise to the people of Bharat and the people who follow Dharma. Only those people, not everybody else. So that is what Lord Krishna did. So the thing is this, that no leader can serve the whole world. Some leaders say, ha ha ha, ha, I serve all humanity. I serve the whole world. I don't discriminate. I am everybody's leader. What nonsense. Even if you wish to serve the whole of humanity, will they all take you as their leader? You can only serve those who accept you as their leader. And most people will not accept a single person. So the thing is this, it is impossible for a leader to serve the whole of humanity. A leader can only serve a finite constituency. So that is the second lesson of leadership. Now, so to ask yourself, what is the constituency of a certain leader? You have to ask yourself a simple question: whom did they serve? So tell me, whom did Julius Caesar serve? He served the people of Rome, and to some extent, he served himself, right? Whom did Napoleon serve? He served the people of France. And to some extent, he served himself also. He was also self serving. He was personally very ambitious. Whom did Abraham Lincoln serve? Abraham Lincoln served the people of the US to some extent. Not all, not the Native Americans, not the women, but yeah, okay, most Americans or some Americans. Whom did Winston Churchill serve? Did he serve the people of India? Or did he serve the people of the UK? He victimized the people of India and he served the people of England. Whom does this fine gentleman serve? Does he serve the people of North Korea? Does he serve himself? Or does he serve some other leader that he himself defers to? And what about this great gentleman, Mr. Imran Khan Niazi, whom does this fine gentleman serve? Does he serve the people of Pakistan? Does he serve himself? Or does he serve the Pakistani army? Whom does he serve? Tell me. What about the Pakistani army itself? This is General Bajwa, I believe. So, whom does General Bajwa serve? Does he serve the nation of Pakistan? Does he serve the Prime Minister of Pakistan? Or does he serve himself? Right? And whom did this gentleman serve? Former Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Whom did he serve? Did he serve the people of India or did he serve something else? Ask yourselves. Whom did Muhammad Ali Jinnah serve? Did he serve the people of India or did he serve a certain section of the people of India, a certain community? And similarly, whom did Mr. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi serve? Whom did he serve? That is what you need to ask yourselves. Whom did this great gentleman serve? Right. So, to understand the concept of service, let's take the example. Let's take another example. Let's take the example of the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd. So, the Good Shepherd takes care of his sheep, right? He has a flock of sheep whom he serves. He takes care of these sheep. He makes sure that they have enough food to eat every day. He makes sure that they go out every day in the pasture, get lots of grass to eat, lots of sunlight. He makes sure they have plenty of water to drink. He makes sure that he keeps the big bad wolf far away from these sheep. And he makes sure that they have a nice, secure location in which to sleep at night. And he makes sure that their children are taken care of and so on and so forth. So, isn't he a great servant of the sheep? Whom does he serve? Does he serve the sheep? Well, actually, the good shepherd serves the guy who owns the sheep. He doesn't serve the sheep, he serves the guy who owns the sheep. And he is ensuring that the sheep get fat and healthy so that they can eventually be slaughtered. So, he serves his boss, he is providing a certain service for a fee. He is not the leader of the sheep. He doesn't serve the sheep. He is their jailer. He is their prison guard. He is their slave driver. That's what the good shepherd does. He exploits his flock of sheep. His service is to his master, not to his subordinates. His service goes upwards, not downwards. So, this is not a true leader. So, even though he seems to serve, he actually exploits. Does this sound familiar, my friends? Right? So, this is where service can be misunderstood. The service seems to be for the sheep, but is actually for the master. Right? Now, similarly, for a project manager is a leader, right? You hear all the time about business leadership, and the people who are project managers, they are told to read books about leadership and all that. But the truth is that this project manager, he doesn't serve the employees who are under him, who are his subordinates. The project manager serves his company, his bosses. So this is again not a leader. This is fake leadership. He is just a servant. He is serving some other master, right? So, so what is true leadership? True leadership is selfless service without expectations of rewards or payments. That is true leadership. The shepherd is a fake leader. So is this project manager. Now let's ask another question. Going back to Mr. Gandhi, were Mohandas Gandhi's actions aligned with India's national interest? That's what I would like you to ask yourselves. Were his actions aligned with India's national interest? So, what is this concept of national interest? Is it some vague, undefinable, back in nebulous concept that has no definition, or does it have a definition? What is the national interest? So let's try and make a definition, create a definition of the national interest. So let's use this definition. National interest involves safeguarding and promoting the long-term security, prosperity, and territorial integrity of the nation and its people. This seems to be a reasonably good definition, don't you think? safeguarding and promoting the long term security, prosperity, and territorial integrity of the nation and its people. So let's test this definition of national interest. We will test it with the nation of the sheep. Here is the nation of the sheep. So these wonderful sheep, they are living. So let's call this a nation. It's a flock of sheep, but that's a small nation, right? So these sheep, they are taken care of by their shepherd, right? He takes care of them. He takes care of their security. He makes sure that this big bad wolf is kept far away. And if the big bad wolf comes near the territory of the sheep, he is shot. So the shepherd provides security to the sheep. He also makes sure that they have enough to eat. They have all the pasture they need. Even their children are taken care of. So there is more than enough prosperity that the sheep are enjoying. They don't have to do any work. They don't have to work a single day in their life. They are provided everything they need. They are provided that, and even their children and their children's children are provided everything they need. And again, the territory in which the sheep live, that is secure by a fence. As you can see, there's a fence here, and so on. So the sheep are given security, the sheep are provided prosperity, and the sheep, their territorial integrity is guaranteed by the shepherd. And yet the shepherd is their exploiter. So the sheep are living in an illusory world. They are living in an illusion of comfort, of safety, of security, and prosperity. But they are nothing but slaves. They think everything is fine. They think it's a wonderful world. Sometimes they see some of their relatives taken away somewhere, but they don't think too much about it, right? And this wonderful, beautiful illusion is shattered only on the day they end up at the slaughterhouse. So these sheep, even though they have security, even though they have prosperity, even though they have territorial integrity, they are nothing but slaves. They are nothing but pieces of meat to be exploited by the shepherd and his master. So, what was missing in this definition of the national interest? Two components were missing: self determination and cultural integrity. My dear Indians, have you heard of these things? So, the true definition, a better definition of national interest is safeguarding and promoting the long term security, prosperity, territorial integrity, self determination, and cultural integrity of the nation and its people. You should be allowed to determine what happens in your temples. The government doesn't get to do it, but they're doing it. So today, you are all sheep, unfortunately. We are all sheep. Do you understand that? So, this is the correct definition of national interest. And that is what leadership also is. So, so that's what I wanted to speak about. So the true definition of leadership is this: the quality of leadership. The quality of leadership depends on how well or how poorly a leader's actions protect, promote, and serve the interests of their constituency, the national interest, right? So that's what leadership is. And to see whether someone's actions promote, protect, and serve the national interest or not, you have to look at their actions, not their words. Indians are very easy to please. They have said great words. This leader made this great speech in which he said so many nice things. So he must be a great leader. That's what the general consensus is, but you have to look at a leader's actions, not speeches, not words, not tweets. What are they actually doing for the to serve and protect the national interest? That is what matters. That is what real leadership is. So this is a very brief overview of what leadership is and what national interest is. It's a more complicated topic. Obviously, I've just given you a very brief overview, but I hope it will give you the toolkit for thinking about leadership, of how to correctly think about leadership and national interest.